Hello there, I'm Jill Webb and I work for North Halifax Partnerships for a number of years in the role of Children's Services Manager. So in that role, I came in as the Sure Start Local programme had been established for a while and began to manage the transition to children's centres, so that by the time I left, we had, I think it was yet 10 children's centres in the area, so a massive time of change and expansion. So in the time that I was with NHP, I saw massive change. I think I'm right in saying when I first came, we had Innovations and Ash Green Children's Centre, and that was it. We were just beginning to work on some of the new children's centres. And of course then, as I'm sure others may have alluded to, we went for the contract for Calderdale to run the whole of the area, Lower Valley and North Halifax, which was a group of, as I've said, up to about 10 children's centres. So saw massive change. And that brought its own challenges in terms of things like HR, what works when you've got a staff team of 40 doesn't work when you've got a staff team of 200. Changes in how we manage finance, change really in all our policies and procedures. Certainly Rob Clegg and I spent many hours reviewing our policies, procedures and making sure they were fit for purpose. As residents will be aware, there were various indicators of deprivation in the local community, which meant it was able to successfully apply to be a Sure Start Local programme. And many people probably look back on these of the years of bounty. We had money really to try things out, try different things. And I came in at the end of that programme really, as we were beginning to look at that transition into children's centres. And the really good thing is they have been sustainable far beyond the 7 years that Sure Start was originally set up for. When the Sure Start Local programme was running, that was managed by North Halifax Partnership. Innovations was run by a separate board and Ash Green Children's Centre was run by the school. So over, I think it was about 7 or 8 years that I was here, there was a time of massive change of governance as the centres came under North Halifax Partnership, and when the opportunity came up to bid to run a wider area of children's centres, that was a massive step because it involved taking on local authority staff who were subject to the famous 2P regulations. And I think I just want to say how great people were at that and how it really feels that it developed into one team. So I think my biggest accomplishment was leading a team of amazing managers, again supported by the infrastructure of the partnership, people like Rob, to secure the funding for that contract. I was very, very proud of that, and I'm very proud of the fact that in the middle of doing all that, we got the Ofsted call, and we're one of the few Ofsted groups in the country that got a good outcome at that time. I loved working with North Halifax. I worked with some amazing people. I learned so much from Rob Clegg and Liz Broadley, working alongside them in the management team. And I think probably what I enjoyed most was growing a management team across the Children's Centre network. I don't want to name everybody because I'm bound to forget somebody, but Diane knows that I'm particularly proud of the fact that I pushed her and she came out of that with a degree. And I think that's what I enjoyed most. I love seeing people grow and develop. And whether it was somebody who came into their interview really nervous, I can remember, in the early days interviewing some really nervous potential parent link workers who then moved on to be family support workers dealing with complex cases, whether it was someone that just came to us for a bit of as and when work but used that on their CV to get a job. I think seeing people grow and develop was probably my favourite part of the job. So in conclusion, when I've been sort of thinking, getting ready for this interview, what I'd like to say is a massive thank you to everybody involved in North Halifax Partnership, all those that have been on the board, all those that have worked for the partnership, the staff who came over from Calderdale in the 2P and have just sort of slotted into the team and been part of it, and a massive thank you to the families. I've learnt so much from working North Halifax. I have so many fond memories, and particularly about how me from over the hill in Huddersfield was sort of so warmly accepted by families and by people living in the community who wanted to share their experience. And I hope that I showed that I shared my heart of trying to make it a better place to live. And it's great today when I hear about new initiatives and I keep in touch with what's going on. I was really surprised when I was contacted to even know that North Halifax Partnership was 25 years old, because of course when I came to work at North Halifax, we were still talking about the early days as if they'd been yesterday. It's absolutely amazing in this time when services come and go that the community has had the presence of North Halifax Partnership for 25 years. So I want to say really well done, a happy birthday, I think that's appropriate, and also just to say that I really hope that the presence will be in the community for the next 25 years. It might evolve, it might look different, but that there is that presence there of North Halifax Partnership.